So the question for those of us here tonight is how we, all of us, can better reflect America's hopes. Imagine if we broke out of these tired old patterns. Imagine if we did something different. A better politics is one where we appeal to each other's basic decency instead of our basest fears. A better politics is one where we debate without demonizing each other.
That was the president using part of his State of the Union address to tell the new GOP-controlled Congress it needs to do a better job of working across party lines. Joining us now, Brit Hume, our Fox News senior political analyst, and Pastel Brit is back. Brit, good to see you tonight. Let's just start with that before I get your general impressions of the speech, which I want to ask you next. But I was just doing quick research. This is not long ago. Republicans, this is the president. Republicans have suspicions. They have suspicions about Social Security, about whether government should make sure kids in poverty are getting enough to eat. And now he wants to tell them that they really need to not demonize the other party and appeal to people's worst fears.
Well, this is the kind of a pitch that people like to hear. It harks back, Megyn, to the 2004 speech he made at the Democratic Convention in Boston. When, remember, we're not red America, we're not blue America, we're one America. People love that speech. It's what launched his national political career. Well, this sort of takes a page from that. But the problem is this one you just cited. This president has not been a healer. He has not been a uniter. The country is as divided as it has ever been, certainly in recent history. And he has no real relationship with Republicans in the Congress. He has a kind of a distant and not unfriendly relationship with John Boehner. So far as we know, he has no relationship with any other senior Republicans. He's built no bridges in that area. When there's negotiating to be done on Capitol Hill, it's usually done by Vice President Biden. Who has many relationships up there, although he can be as partisan as they come. He knows how to do this. This is something the president's bad at. And look, he's just made a speech in which he outlined a series of proposals which were anything but new and different in the way that you just showed him saying. And they're basically a set of offers that he knows the Republicans can't possibly accept and won't. So these were nice comments, but they were out of phase with the speech and out of phase with the kind of president he's been.
What jumped out at you in listening to his remarks?
Well, look, I was thinking about it here tonight, and I think as a television correspondent, I've covered 38 State of the Union addresses. Wow. And maybe a little more than that, because the first year speech in a presidency is often not called that, but be that as it may, 38's about right. And there's a sameness about all of them. Laundry list of proposals. There are always appeals to unity and all the rest of it. Ever since Ronald Reagan, there's been guests in the gallery. This speech fit very much into the pattern. Very few of them have been memorable. I doubt this one will be remembered very long. That kid that got his necktie autographed will have that tie long after most people have forgotten about this night.
But to hear him up there, like, slam the ball in the end zone, spike the ball in the end zone, it's done. We have turned the page. Yeah. War on terror, check. Yeah. Well, economy, check.
If you just parachuted in here from elsewhere and weren't aware of what's happened the last couple of months politically and listened to this speech tonight, you would never have imagined that this was a president whose party and whose policies, which he declared were on the ballot, all of them, had been massively repudiated at the polls. This was an unreconstructed Barack Obama, an unreconstructed left liberal, still pushing the same kinds of policies that he's pushed in many cases, and in fact one might argue most cases unsuccessfully now, for his entire presidency. These proposals aren't going anywhere, and I think he knew that. I think he is going to be what he is. He's not going to give any ground to speak of. He's not going to be able to make deals successfully, because that's not the kind of president he is, and that's where this is going.
It's as George Will pointed out earlier, there were 80 more Republicans in that room tonight listening to him than there were when he gave his first address after becoming president. Brit, great to see you.
And fewer Democrats in any time since sometime back in the 20s. So things have changed a lot, and not for the better in his party.
All is well, because as he pointed out, he won twice. Hey, I'm still here.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, Mr. Let's Not Be Partisan was quick to note that, wasn't he?
Great to see you, Brit.
Thanks, Megyn.